streams is it working? And nobody's going to reply. Because that's how life is. Anyways, I am here with a dev stream. I've never done one of these before, so this is going to go terrible, as it always does. But, you know, we'll try. I do have the Discord open, so if anybody has the rights to join in the chat room and wants to chat, that is a thing that is available. So go ahead and jump in that. I am currently screwing around with other stuff on the other screen. I need to turn down this music for me. Turn down my speakers. That'll work. I don't know why that's so loud. In fact, I'm very confused why that's so loud. Open up a volume mixer, see if I can find it. Turn it down to 8, probably. That'll work. I can turn on my speakers so that, you know, I can hear system sounds. I need to get new speakers. My speakers freaking suck. Alright, I think I'm ready. Sorry, I probably shouldn't have started yet because I'm still setting things up. Making sure the volume's okay. I mean, it might not be. I don't really know. I'll find out after I'm done streaming and everyone's like, why is this so bad? Because nobody checks out the live stuff. Everyone checks out the archives. Anyway, so I am working on Crystal Grimoire. Today I'm working on some of the UI stuff, and so I'm just going through. I'm adding drop shadows to it because if I go into my current thing here, I just have a test stage up. I have a basic function to add levels and things so I can alter stats, and that's about it. Probably end up screwing around with it, but if I go in here, one thing I notice is that the UI is just kind of flat on screen. And for some reason I didn't think about that when I was designing it, and so I'm going to go ahead and add a drop shadow to it, which is what I'm doing over in Photoshop. That's the wrong button. I should move this to the other screen. Oh, I can't do it in this menu. Well, that's annoying. Let me just bring this up. Move that over to the other screen. That way, what else is on here? Probably close that. Don't need that anymore. Cool. That way I can just swap between them very easily. Anyways. This is the new Windows feature, by the way. If you haven't seen it, it's pretty awesome. But here is my backing, so I'm going to go ahead and save that as... And then I have my textures here, and I need to save it as a PNG. I'm doing all my textures as PNG, if anybody cares. So this is going to be our backing, I believe. Save that. Yep. And then I'll need to copy it over into my actual development files so that Unreal will notice it. Technically I'm supposed to import it and everything, but I'm too lazy for that, so I just copy and paste things. So there's the background. There we go. I was going to try and do that before the stream just so I could set it up in the thing, but it's not how life works. Yeah, so that screwed up my, like, the way it looks because it's going to be the wrong image. I could refresh it. Can I refresh this? I don't actually know how that works. No, it's going to try and keep the last sizing, so let's go ahead and redo this backing. It's not that big of a deal. Bring in my image. Oh. No, I don't want to have to, like, reorganize it, and it's not... Did it put it in there? No? Oh, I'm such a noob when it comes to Unreal. I'll just put it at the bottom and scale it back up. It's whatever. I like my stuff to be organized, and this has kind of a flow system going to it, because I'm using overlays to kind of get everything to work. So I'm gonna need to anchor it on the left side. And we'll just set this to 0 real quick so that we can rescale it over here. Also, it seems like people are freaking pounding the door outside. That's not great. Let's see. I live in an apartment building, don't worry about it. Backing. And then we want this to be the actual size of the image, so, because I built everything in Photoshop beforehand. And 232. That's not the right size, is it? No, it's just not in the right spot, that's why. So it didn't like that at all. Oh, I know why. This is set up so that it's scaling improperly. So let's do using nearest neighbor at the current moment. Backing. So I'm probably going to want to go by linear. And that'll make it smooth, I believe. I might need to tone it down too. That didn't really help. I don't think that I'm going to be able to do a transparency like that. I want to use the blur option that they have in the UI settings. I might just do a black outline actually. Now that I'm thinking about it, what does it look like at 1x? Actually, let's compile this and actually look at what it looks like in game. Yeah, that's super blurry. I could probably try lessening the effect, and then it'll probably look fine because I don't think that looks too bad when rendering. This obviously isn't 1:1, Wish it was, but it's not. Yeah, but it needed to be on bilinear. That is going to cause some artifacting on the sides. See right there. Not a fan of that. Not a fan at all. I might just scrap that idea entirely and use a blur effect. I just need to figure out how to actually use the blur effect efficiently, because that's never something that I've ever used before. So that was a waste. Yeah, just go back into Photoshop. Yeah, I just added a blur effect, but you know, it always looks different in Photoshop, because in Photoshop it's able to actually use transparency with its own channel and everything, and it's a little bit more difficult to do on other things. Alright, so I'm probably just gonna remove it. I don't know, I could just do a 1 pixel border, but I think I'd still run into the same problem to where it just kind of looks flat. That's not a terrible idea though. Since I am using nearest neighbor for its rendering, if I view it at 100%, it'd probably look fine. I think it's gonna add some weird effects. I think I'll try and get a blur effect working, or maybe a vignette. Although I hate vignettes, I do have UI going around the entire thing, so that'll probably be fine. Anyways, this is my backing, so I'm gonna go ahead and crop it so it's the maximum size. Oh wait, did I go over any? Nope, doesn't look like it. Just save as a PNG again. Yep, get rid of my backing. Smallest file size, because optimizations. Yeah, Unreal should have recognized that. Hopefully. Yeah, it did. Just go ahead and re-add it. I don't feel like going through and like resizing it. Now it's gonna let me put an image there. There it goes. Sometimes. Rename this to backing. Anchors left. Set it 0 just so I have it over here. Image. Backing, which is, nope, that's a skill slot backing. That's the wrong one. That's for my buttons. I could just type in backing, but god dang it. I probably should have. But for the way I'm sitting at the moment, it's not exactly optimal. Let's go ahead and set 592 by 222. Slide it over. Easy. Wait. Oh, I did 82, not 92. I was just like, that doesn't seem right. There we go. Well, that was a waste of time. Maybe I should try figuring out how to do the background blur, because there is a blur option. And so one thing we can do is add blur behind it, I think. Although it doesn't seem to take effect until... I could turn it on right now. Where is it? There it is. Yeah, so it blurs things. It actually looks pretty nice. But the problem is, if I set it behind everything, I don't... Gosh dang it. Grabbed the wrong freaking thing. I want the blur. Okay, whatever. Anyways, I want to make it so it just blurs the edges or whatever. But if I... Zoom out. If I go ahead and put it here... and I compile this, I don't think it actually applies unless there's an element behind it. I mean, I guess I could kind of hack it, but that's what I want to do. Or is it blurring? Oh no, the blur is just like a little tiny thing over there on the very right side of it. I'm not sure if that will show up on stream or not. Why isn't it the size I defined? I've never used it before, by the way, so I'm genuinely lost. It's because it's off the screen? It's because my anchor's wrong? I also don't know if you can pad it. Wait, can I add an image for it to blur? Like, what is this gonna do? Like, I have no idea what this is. Oh, 539 or whatever, right? 2. Oh, that's a skill slot. Whoops. It's the wrong one. What does that do? I mean, that's supposed to be like a low quality brush, right? I don't know. Oh, it's an image. It would be like, this is what it's gonna blur instead. I don't think I need that. So we're gonna delete that. There's padding option. Oops. Oh, I can't click and slide. Well, that's lame. What happens when I add a thing? Anyways, I'm just gonna add something behind it, I guess. Maybe I can just copy my backing. Well, I can't copy because I don't know how to copy in this. But just put an image here. So as a copy of my backing and just blurs it. That doesn't seem like it would be good for optimization reasons. Gosh dang it, I need to lock everything. Can I slide like I can in Photoshop? Nah. I'm gonna move it over here. Brush, backing. If anyone's wondering where videos are, this is what I've been doing over the last few days. One of the reasons I'm doing a dev stream. Trying to do something. It's hard to do multiple things at once. That's the wrong position. I need to make it the right size before I reposition it. God, I'm so bad at this. I'm also really tired. Tired days are never fun. There we go. Alright, screw it. Let's see what it does. You know, that doesn't look terrible except for the fact that it's just a box. So if I could figure out how to, like, dither it or something, that would actually be perfect. And that would look exactly like I want it to. Problem is, you can see it on the square. Whatever, I'll figure it out later. I'm sure there's a way to do it and I just don't know. That's fine. Anyways, let's go back to my actual game logic. Here, this isn't what I wanted. Gosh dang it. Is that on nearest? Yes it is, okay. This is what I want. There we go, so we're setting up my UI so that it actually does stuff. And I am currently setting in a bunch of variables. So I need resistance next. So if you're wondering on all my character stats, welcome to the widget logic. Everything calculates outside of the widget because this ticks once per frame at 60 FPS. So yeah, don't want to have too many of those or else it'll be performance hell, which it already kind of looking like it is going to be. Yes. Another variable. And we're gonna set it. It should work. Preferably. I do have a level up function, by the way, and so I can actually test how all of this is working. I'm just setting it up so that all the variables are there. Again, stuff I was hoping to do before I started streaming, but I was like, I'm gonna try and make 6 o'clock my normal streaming time. And yeah, that didn't work. Closing some windows on my other screen. Go. I have way too many windows open. Pop this out somehow? I have no idea how. I have no idea how to pop this out. Alright, if anybody talks in chat, I apologize if I don't see it. I normally don't. Okay. So now I got my percentages that I'm working on. One cool thing that I have is I had 2 different colored bars, one that actually makes itself smaller while it's in the background. So I need to set those up for each of my types here. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna need to get first. We'll just do this. That one here. No, I need to do get first. God, I'm so bad at this. I need my percentage fade, which is going to be my bar. And then do this. If this is greater than... Oh, it should be greater than or equal to, huh? No, greater than would work. Never mind. I mean, that doesn't make any sense to anybody else, but it will to me. So basically what this is doing is it is checking whether or not the fade bar, which is going to be a different colored bar in the background, is going to actually be larger or not, or smaller than. If it's smaller than, it will then make that bar the same size as the normal bar. And then what that does is makes it so that when it gets smaller, it then fades away inside my little macro here, which is quite nice. So this will set, and just type in fade quick, find the spirit fade, which is basically mana. And that will go, wait, nope, wrong one, this one, there we go. And then false will be a set. So fade. Yeah. I'm reading. I'm still really slow in Unreal Engine, which is really unfortunate. Blueprints are supposed to be like really, really quick, and I am still really, really slow. One of the reasons I'm using macros is because I can label everything, so I don't have to like think about all the logic. Because I'm used to normal coding, to where, you know, you just get lines of code and such. And so this is a little different than for me, but it's also easier because one of the things I struggle with the most is vocabulary. Let's go ahead and make sure that worked. Oh, I do need to define it inside my designer as well. You know what? I'm going to finish up all these and then we'll look at it. I need to do the weight and poison percent too, but that's not going to be... It's not even in the game yet, so I'm not going to frickin' bother. Actually, I don't need to do any extra logic for those. I can literally just define them since they're inside my current structure for my character. And so I actually don't have to do any work for those, so I'll literally just define it like I did these ones and it'll be fine, I think. I don't have to worry about it. Never mind. I'm getting ahead of myself. Mechanics that aren't even in the build yet. Oops. So I'm gonna get this. Again, I could just copy and paste. Let's just copy and paste. That's easier. Actually, copy and paste these ones. Copy V. I'll just input the variables that I need. So fade is gonna be energy. Yeah, I'm on energy. That's caps lock, not shift. I've been using computers all of my life and I still screw up on the keyboard. I am a very skillful man. Oh yeah, and these need to reroute back to this one so that no matter what happens, it will go back. I'm sure there's a more optimal way to do this and I don't know it. That's basically how my last week has been. Just making mistakes over and over again and then figuring out like, oh, I can just do it this way and then it's fine. That it's the max percent. And fade. Get another energy percent. Fade's gonna go in. Be the fade. This will be the percent. Back. Then we do it all again. Yay, repeating code. Isn't the most fun. I'm curious, could I reroute this here and then, well, the problem is the sets. The sets would have to be different, which means I would have to make a variable for that. And that seems like a lot of extra work just for this thing, since it's, I mean, it's copying code, which you never want to do, but it's also gonna work. Drag this over and get. I find dragging it is a lot quicker than me typing. Mostly because when I type, I have to think about what I'm going to type for whatever reason. Again, I've been using computers all my life and I still screw up on that. Percent, and the new percent. Wait, yeah, goes there. And then this one is the base effect. All right, now zoom out so I can get my bar back. I need to do weight percent and poison percent. Then I guess I should define the other ones too. Screw it, let's just see if it worked. Went to my designer. If I go ahead and define these, because I'm just tying these to a variable. So the health bar is already done. Beard bar is not. It's gonna be 0% fade. 30 set. Fade. I hope this is entertaining. I'm sure it is. I'm sure it's so enthralling. People be dropping their pants because of this stuff. That was a joke, by the way. Don't take me serious on that. No, I'm not going to have any of these changing, I don't think, because I haven't bound all of them yet. But that's Dex. So this isn't in alphabetical order and it annoys me. Do that one so they can see it. Then, if I did my logic correctly, when I press my level up key, bars fade. Oh, I forgot to do stamina. I don't have my heal function yet. But yeah, so they work. That's good. Why isn't this one working? Did I not define it properly? Oops, I need to go to my graph. Oh, I didn't attach this. Oops. Now it should work. Boom. Then whenever you attack damage, you'll do this nice little slide effect. Yay. I wasn't even working on that today. I was actually working on getting my 3D models imported. And just like, I'm gonna screw up the AI more. Or not the AI, the UI. Yeah, so that's how that functions. Goes all right. Sweet. I need to go ahead and apply the rest of this stuff a little bit later. I'm wondering why, though, if I go to... Oh, I know why. Eliza scales on health a little bit more than other people. Okay, never mind. We're good. I was wondering why they weren't equal. But that does show a problem, though, with some of my scaling going on. Because it doesn't look like it's going to the right percentages. I'll have to look at that later inside my game code. My calculations. Where's the normal event graph? Or not event graph. There we go. Yeah, something here is screwy. I'll have to fix it. It's not grabbing the right stat or something like that. Figure it out later. Alright, so that works. Please just set these over here so they look all pretty. Now, one thing you'll notice is I'm using my Eliza stats here just for testing purposes, but normally what I'll do is I'll have a second variable on the side that'll then go into it, and it will make it so I don't have to predefine exactly who I'm doing it, so I don't have to copy and paste all this crap, because that's a lot of work. And I should have... Did I define all of my things yet? No, I haven't. Man... That's the problem with like working on a project and then going away from it for a while. I should have just copied. I'm an idiot. And then going back. Wait. Percent. Boom. It needs to be a float. Put it up here so it looks nice and pretty. And then I need to... I guess I'll do the rest of them. Screw it. Duplicate. Leave that poison percent. This is a poison effect. Also an excite effect, which increases damage. A charm effect, which makes it so that they stop attacking, etc., etc. I think I did charm first. I don't know why it keeps disappearing on my screen. That's a little bit annoying. Zoom out so I can read it. Duplicate. Grapple. I don't think I'll need any of those yet, but I'm defining them anyways. That. There, that's my function. I think. But there's something screwy about this that I messed up. And I will find about it later. Probably when it's going to be critical for me not to run into it. Just as a heads up, if anybody's ever actually developing a game, make sure to properly set your ticks here so that it doesn't tick every single frame when you're doing UI stuff when it doesn't need to. Because updating this at 120 FPS makes no sense whatsoever. I mean, it's not complex logic or anything, but it is logic nonetheless. You don't need extra overlay, especially if you're doing something graphically intensive. I'm going to be doing my cell shading and stuff like that a little bit later in the month. And so I won't necessarily be doing all the advanced kind of toggle stuff that we'll see in a lot of games. Alright, now I just need to define everything, which is the funnest part. Combine this to my poison percent. Same thing with the AMR. It'll just disappear now that we're binding it because it won't be at 1.1 or 1.0 anymore. Find all those, right? Oh, I don't have a XP bar thing, do I? Oh, I should set inside of my blueprint, or not blueprint, my struct, should make a XP percent so I don't have to calculate it every single time, because I actually have like a calculation that I run through every time that checks the experience, and so I should just set that so that I set it inside of the level. Let's see, which one did I set that in? Hunter stats? Yeah. I'll just make a new one on the bottom. It'll just be a simple float. The reason I do that is because it's going to be used for other calculations as well. And so I may as well make it so that there's just one. Like that lowercase, just so it looks nice inside the editor. Be a float. No, whatever. Yeah, and that way it doesn't have to calculate like 12 times every time it tries to look at the stat. That does mean it can get out of date though. Where are fairy stats? Mod stats. Fairy stats. There we go. Float. And then I need to actually add that into my bar here. I actually need to add it into my calculation for my experience stuff too, but right now I just have a simple check to level up real quick. Here's my level up scale though, if anybody can read that, enjoy. Yeah, but that's gonna be... That won't actually do anything, but I may as well define it while I'm working on it, right? That way I don't forget later, because doing things later, I have noticed, is not the best way to figure out that you screwed something up. So while I have it in my brain, I may as well set it. Set. Okay, alright. I just need to go through my designer, set all of my variables. Where was I? I actually, well, no, I do, don't I? That's just one thing. I just used a background for it, didn't I? Yeah, I just used a background color for it. Okay. That looks right. For the other bars, I had to do some weird stuff because it looks different than I was expecting. Okay, so we just need to, I'm gonna make it a little bit down just so I can tell if it's working or not. And then we'll bind the oh, I need to compile first so that it'll show the variable or else it doesn't show it. XP bar. Variable. Find my XP percent. And done. And then we do that for everything else, which is fun. The current spirit, which is mana. energy, self-explanatory. Most enthralling stream to ever exist has now begun. There's a lot of variables to have on my UI. I might have designed this not in the best of ways. What I should have done is made this a separate widget so that this could be optional and closed. But I didn't do that. Resilience, which is a defensive stat. There's all these. I don't have the mod stats yet. I could define those, but that's additional work. Physical, magical, mechanical, defense, resist, and weight stat, which I didn't include on here. I thought I did. I didn't. That's annoying. Make another one. Wait, stat. That's essentially speed. The turn-based game, so you have timers, and so this is the weight stat. Yep, I didn't set it either. Stat. Wait, stat. Now, if anybody ever sees this and knows of a better way to convert all of my stuff into strings, maybe in one node and make it very efficient, code-wise, you know, I'm looking for speed, not necessarily for cleaning it up. I don't really care how messy this looks because this makes sense to me. But if anybody knows a more optimal way to convert all these into strings without having to do a call every single time, it'd be nice. I assume if I combine it into one node, I don't know how it actually works in code, which is one of the reasons why I like coding better. Because I could end up going into the code and being like, all right, well, it's going to convert all the strings and then put them where they need to be, sort of thing. Or I could do it another way, depending on which way is optimal. But I don't know how Blueprints works in that sense, so I don't necessarily know. And it's really difficult to find very specific things like that. I could try storing them as strings as well, but that also makes it so that every time I calculate the stats, I need to make a new string, which would then just go into the UI itself and not used anywhere else. Or I would have a string that I would have to convert every time I want to do a calculation, which is also not great. I don't think I'm going to be doing a calculation every single frame, so it might actually be more optimal, but I'm not actually 100% sure. So I guess that's something I'll figure out in the future once I actually start building all my logic into my game. Right now I'm just building frameworks type stuff. So I believe I just find all these and you compile it so my variable shows up, and then there it is. Sweet. Done and done. Alright, so is that everything except for these, which aren't actually in yet? Because these are like the modify values. So it'd be like, oh, you have additional this from a buff or whatever, which, yeah, that's how that goes. Okay. Yep. Now you can see the stat growth. Wait. Seems to be working. I should have made it so I could hold it down and it would keep going. Like, while E is held every 50 frames or some shit. Cool. That's that HUD pretty much done except for the mod stats, which I don't actually have in the game yet. I can close those. What's that? Now I can actually make the skill slots if I wanted to. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna leave this for now. I'm not gonna worry about the experience growth. This song is kind of annoying. Hopefully I'm showing those on stream. Oh, I am. Okay, cool. All right, so I guess the next step would be for me to make the skill slot menus or whatever if I want to keep doing the UI. I mean, this is normally where I would go and import a bunch of models, but that's a bunch of different work that I don't want to open. Like, I don't want to go into Blender right now and everything. So yeah, I guess I need to make a new widget. So I'm going to go ahead and go to here. User interface, widget blueprint by Hunter skill slots. Actually, I should do was naming it HUD, because HUD will be head-up display, and then I'll have ones for pop-ups and things. So cell, and then skills. Actually, hunter skills should work because I don't have to select any skills from other characters. I don't think I need a canvas panel. I think I need a vertical box. I want to try to automatically lay out vertically. Alright. Let's try it. Add. Then when I define it into my HUD, I'll actually just put it in the right spots that it needs to be. Alright, so I'm not 100% sure how to do the logic for this. I believe I'm going to have to make it so that I have a button, and then for each button it has like an ID number, and then I use that ID number to get the skills, because the skills have to change. They're not going to be the same every time. And I can probably just set up like an array with structs. An array of structs would actually work, which is basically a 2D array. That would work. Yeah, and I could just drop this in if I wanted to. That's not what this is for. I think actually what I need is vertical box with canvas panels. Can I do that? Oh my goodness, I can. What does that do? I don't know what those buttons do. I think it's gonna fill the content, isn't it? Screw it. Let's see. Let's see what happens. I've actually never done this before. So first off, I want to make my backing. My background pieces. Is there a way to set up the width? And there's scale and stuff. I guess I'm just gonna have to make sure nothing has like different images or different sizes, or else I'm gonna have problems. Which I mean makes sense. All my buttons are the same width, so it won't be that big of a deal. Or at least for this they are. But that does mean that in certain other menus I'll need to make sure that my buttons are set up properly. Type in backing, or back, and I'll get my skill slot. Make sure the width is the same as there, so 520 by 49. Never seen my UI design, by the way. Here's the UI design, so this is what we're doing now. Here's all the stuff all in there. I'm actually getting rid of this. I'm gonna have a whole new menu for that. That'll be there. And I'm moving these over. And this is gonna be collapsible, or these two things are gonna be collapsible. And that way it will be compatible with 1920 by, or 1920 by 1080. There we go, I had it right. I don't know why. This is the UI. So we're doing these right now. I think all of them are the same size. I hope I didn't screw up on the sizing of these things. This is the part that I worry about. Whatever, but I already have all the images and stuff like that imported, so I can just start working on those right away. So that's our background image. So that's gonna be the same every single time. What to worry about is the other images that I created. I already did make this once, but I didn't save my project. So that was disappointing. Yeah, so I'll just do skill slot or skill. Yeah, so I have all these edge textures that I need to have because they're gonna change color depending on what the skill is. So I guess we'll start from the top left. I really love UMG, by the way. I hated in other stuff, like when I was working with SDL, how I had to basically go through and like code in the exact pixels that I wanted everything at, which was annoying. I'm also not labeling these, but I'll label these after I'm done setting them because I know the order I'm putting them in. Yeah, that was always a pain, having to be like, it's gonna be 6 pixels from the left, and then having it not be the right spot, and I'm like, oh, okay. Never a fun thing. I mean, some people find that fun. It's a way to waste your time. But I'm not the biggest fan of that. There we go. And so these are just little tiny white spots, and then I'm able to change their color to whatever I want them to be. I will set in whatever color I want it in there. And that will be a variable that will be set. They don't have to fade or anything. And so I don't have to worry about adding in anything extra to that. It'll literally just be a code number that I'll find. Still, I want the bottom left. Really hope my audio balance is okay. I screw it up every stream. I know this podcast we did yesterday. Oh, that's a weird size. I should fix that a little bit. It's not a big deal. It's like 1 pixel. Nobody's gonna freaking notice. I get yelled at so often about like perfectionism sometimes. You get 1 pixel and I'm like, it has to be perfect. And they're like, it's literally 1 pixel. I'm like, it has to be perfect. That's why I am where I am. Absolutely nowhere. Wait a second. Oh, I'm actually not snapping to 1 pixel. Oops. I moved the thing, but that'll be fine. I was like, this feels weird to me. I don't know why. And yeah, that looks right. Now it looks right. Okay. I forgot to change my snaps up here. For some reason it snaps. The snaps default to 4 pixels. Whatever designer's using 4 pixels in their grid, screw you. You're doing it wrong. Not really, you can do it however you want. I'm just being facetious, I think is the right word for that. Oh, you know what? I need to actually bound all of these to the right side because this is gonna be on the right side of my menu. Actually, maybe I don't. Depending on how I import it, because if I import it normally, since they're the same width, I can just exit out from the left side using a negative value whenever I anchor the actual UI element. So never mind, I don't have to worry about it. One more image. Type in, oops, not kill, skill. I mean, it would bring up the same images, but I don't care. Bottom right. Needs to be the right size. I wish it would just import it at the right size. I mean, I'm sure there's probably an option for it or a shortcut that I don't know. Oh, I forgot the middle one. No, we need the middle one. It's the most important one. It's actually the least important one. It's freaking undo. Skill. And that's the middle right. 9 by 9. 9. No, I'll name these. Let me rename. Backing. And TR. I just do TR, I guess. Edge, middle. Oh, wait. Actually, that's left. Whoops. I know my right from my left, guys. It's fine. There we go. Now I just need to add in all the text. Now, one thing that I have been doing so that I can align everything properly, so I've been adding an image, and I have a sample image in here. Somewhere, there it is, full face sample. Size of a property. 560. 1440. Yes, I designed my UI at my full screen resolution. Anybody who's not running at that can deal with it. For now. Don't worry, it will be scalable and it works. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and, well, I'll do transparency first, and then I'll lock it so I can't edit it. Where is transparency again? I'm an idiot. Oh, it's A for alpha. There we go. Actually, I could probably just do 0.1. Look fine. That's enough that I can see it. Get it pixel perfect so that it looks about right. Anything else we can adjust as we see fit? Is that right? Yeah, that would be right. It's just showing a little bit of color through. All right, and then we lock it. Sample.e, apparently. All right, so now I just need to add my text in. Edge pieces can be different. Text block. Now this is the fun part. It's really not. Testing purposes, I'm gonna use a D. So D is done. I like the D. I think it's good for aligning text. Sorry, I went on with that bit a little bit longer than I was going to. Appearance. There we go. That's what I want. Make sure to set up my color. Just go from top to bottom. Triple elephant. Font. I'm using Open Sans, which is available for free of use. 14 should be my actual pixel width. Line it about there. Actually, I'd probably align it there. Make sure the width is long enough that it can reach. Then, if I added this, show down some G's. Yep. Perfect. Not all that bad. And then this will have a variable that ties to it, etc., etc. One thing I'm curious, though, is if I should make this vertical box. Like, if I just make this one button, I wonder if I can pass variables to it depending on which button it is in the list. I guess I could use an index and get the index number and use that to define which slot it is. That makes sense. I'm not gonna bother with it. Anyway, so that text is added. May as well add the rest of the text as well. Forgot to label it. Skill. God dang it. Skill name. Go. Another text. Oh, text block. Over here. Label it D. Because why the heck not? Triple elephant. I should find the defaults options somewhere. One thing I've never had to do, because this is the first time I've actually gotten this far in developing into Unreal, in a sense. This is always going to be the same. So I'll just say level. But like, normally what I do is I build prototypes. And that's really all I've really gotten to build for the most part. I've worked with like different aspects, but it was always like tutorial stuff or like basic fundamental engine stuff or small framework pieces. Because the other project I was working on never really got this far. I should be naming these text. The end, so I know it's text. Because when I'm looking at them from other sections of whatever, can I duplicate this? It says I can copy, but I can't paste. Or can I paste it? Oh my god, I can copy. Oh, my life just got made so much easier, I think. Where did that go, though? Oh, so it copies it, but it doesn't, like, keep it where it was. Well, that only helps me somewhat. Looks slightly blue for some reason. I think it's my monitor settings. I noticed the stream looked a little pink as well. I don't know, I'm having problems with everything at the moment. Let's go there. Set to level cap. That's not level cap. Well, is that level cap? I don't remember what I set my level cap to be. I'm pretty sure it was there. I'm not sure. Yeah, whatever. Not that it matters. We're just using it so that we can see where it's at. I need to move it over 1 pixel. There we go. Now it'll line up with our bar when we actually get it put in there. That's that text done. We should probably do the progress bar next, because why the heck not? Put that down, spin it around, enable this text box because I forgot to. Level value. That way I know it's the value. Pick a little thing here. Should only need to be 4 pixels. Yeah. Width, however, I'm not actually sure how wide it's supposed to be. 143? 144. I knew I designed it at 2s. There we go. That'll be the right size. And then we just need to actually make the image. Now I'm pretty sure, yeah, UI back color. There we go. So that'll be the background color. Bring up the percent so that we can see it. I've got to admit, Unreal has a nice default look to their numbers or whatever, which is their color and appearance. But we don't want that. We want it to be triple elephant. And when it comes down to the fill image, rid of the margin because I don't need it. And then there should be a UI front color. There we go. So those are just 2x2 pixel images, by the way, if anybody was curious. And I can either add in these icons or I can add in the extra text at the bottom. Let's do icons because that's different than what I was just doing. The XP bar. Those are images. One thing I did notice is I should be indexing these because I'm just going to be creating multiples of the same thing. So I should probably do that. I'm going to start from 0 because that's how computers work. I'll make it so I don't have to add 1 to my array if I make an array to use it. I actually don't know how I'm going to do them yet. I think I'm going to use an array. An array just makes sense for something like this. So I'll use an array of structs, and so it'll be like, this array has... Can I make an array with structs? I should actually check if I can make an array with structs. I don't need to label that. Because if I can't make an array with structs, I'm gonna have a problem with that. And then I want to actually design these in a different way, or slightly different way. I mean, I guess I can always change it later. All right, so our icons are 20 by 20. I'm just gonna do one of these and then I'll go and check if I can actually do an array with structs real quick. Then I'll get my icon. Did I name him icon? Yes, I did. Oh my god, I'm intelligent. I need physical. There we go. It's physical damage. Hit him in the face with your fist. It's physical damage. And then I'll just leave it white because I'm going to use a color modifier to actually set those. And so my color here will be what defines those colors. Anyways, I am curious. Go ahead and compile that so I don't have to worry about it. Automatically save as well. I am curious if I can make an array of structs and call it back. I'm going to do that real quick. Make a new variable. Test array. Going to be an array of structs. Can I do that? Oops. I go to struct literally anything. I'll do fairy stats because why not? And yes, I can. I go in, I have to compile first to actually set my thing. So is it making an array out of this, or is it actually an array of structs? Like if I say set. Oh, you know what? I'm doing it wrong. It's up here. Boom. There we go. Now it's an array of structs. Now if I get, there it goes. God, I'm an idiot sometimes. Yeah, so I can add to it and stuff like that. Okay, sweet. There are find functions with an array, right? I was pretty sure. Yeah, find item. Now I'd be able to find a specific skill or something like that. So if I needed to add or remove it, I don't know how indexing is going to work, but I'll figure that out later because that's some extra stuff. Sweet, so I can make an array out of structs. I wasn't sure. I've never used structs before, which sounds dumb because it is. Structs are amazing once you actually like know how to use them. Physical 0. Name this icon. Copy it. Click on canvas panel V. Oh my god, that makes things so much easier. I don't know why I didn't notice that before. There's so many small things within this engine that I just don't notice because it can do so much. We're looking for spiritual. You know what? I'm gonna type it. Spirit. Well, there we go. Which is just magic damage. Religion in video games. It's in the right spot. Should be 2 pixels from each side. I'll just make all of them and then name them. What am I moving? I think I was moving the canvas panel on accident. No, I want the image. Thank you. Down 1. Change the image. This will be mechanical. Actually, I think having it anchored at the top left is actually what I want to do because this actually doesn't sit on the right side of the screen. It's slightly lifted off. Go back to thing here. It's slightly lifted off, and I don't... If I do it this way, I just have to define where it's going to be on this side instead of actually having to worry about padding, which will be nice, I guess. Whether it's optimal or not, I will find out. Not today. I ain't gonna bother with it today. If anybody has feedback for me, make sure to send it my way, by the way. We're doing these more often. I don't know how often. Not the most exciting thing to do, as I'm sure people have noticed. Icon. Now this, I don't know. Nah, I'll leave it white. Because this is always going to be like the same color. It'll either be white or this faded gray. So I could just use a toggle for it. Well, I guess I could use a toggle for all of it. Never mind. I think I'll use a bool somehow. Maybe. Like I'll have a boolean and then it'll set the color of these. Because physical is always going to be red. You know, spiritual is always going to be blue. I'm just thinking of like my game logic to where I could end up using a boolean inside of my UI stuff, being like, okay, is this true or false? Because having to set the color inside of like the struct for skills doesn't make any sense because it's not used anywhere except for the UI. So I'll probably end up just making a boolean because it'll just say, hey, does it do this damage or not? And is it affected by this resistance or not? And then if it is, it'll just be like, all right, cool, we'll just light this up. That sounds like the best way to do it. Now make it slightly more annoying if I want to change the colors, but I don't think I will, so I think I'll be fine on that end. I might though, I don't actually know what's going to happen. And then these ones, these are interesting because this is going to have a color value and it's going to have another value as well, as in it's going to have the, whatchamacallit, the actual image itself, which is going to be fun when I go into it. I should name these first though before I forget, because I will go back in here and be like, I don't know what anything is. Spiritual 0. Oh, you know what? I bet I could copy the canvas panel and then go to the vertical box and paste another one. Goodness, that's awesome. So once I'm done with this one, I can literally just copy it. Although I don't know, is this vertical box what I want? Because it's not vertical boxing them. It's just additional canvas panels, which means I could have just literally used a canvas panel. Does a vertical box mean that it goes into a vertical box, or does it actually mean it is a vertical box? So much stuff I don't know. Figure it out. Times like this to where I'm like, I could have just used Unity, because Unity is so much easier in a lot of this stuff. I mean, it's harder to make a good game in Unity, I would say, because Unity has a bunch of problems that you have to know how to fix. But wait, that's resistance. I'll just name it resist. Screw it. I don't want to type out the entire full name. There's no reason to. I could abbreviate these as well. But yeah, Unity has a bunch of problems with it that you have to know how to fix, or else you just make a crappy game. Unreal doesn't have nearly as many of those. Like, if I build this UI, it will work. How effective it is going to depend on my design skills. And most people that make crappy games don't really have all that many skills, for the most part. I mean, there are legitimate games that get made, and they're not particularly great, that they actually had a lot of skill that went into it. I'm not gonna do the text first, I'm gonna do the icons first. Yeah, let's give that a song. Yeah, I don't want to sound like a jerk and be like, people make crappy games because they don't have skill. But it's not always the case. Just do physical icons for everything. Because why not? These will change depending on whatever it is. It up. Copy and paste. Oh yeah, it puts it up there, I forgot. I would like to see more good games come out of Unity, though. There are some good games come out of Unity. The, whatchamacallit came out of Unity. The, Abe's Odyssey remake that looks gorgeous. It does have obvious problems that are from Unity, though. That's for sure. Just to a wait icon, and boom. Because that's always going to be a wait icon. This one I could actually change into a status icon if I wanted to. That down. That sets that up, and then I just need the text, and I'll be done. Actually, hold on. Now that I know I can copy and paste everything, I want to go into my D skill. Copy it, paste it. I just moved it down. I do need to change it though. It will be changed a little bit, so we need to be on the right side. I'm gonna go ahead and change this to a 0 so that I can position it better. All right, make sure it's the right size. That should work, I think. Go ahead and set it to max, actually. That seems awfully far over. Oh, I know why. Because when I designed it, it was designed max plus percentage. That looks better. That looks... Well, not better, but it looks like it's going to when it's at max value, or if it's at absolute max value. Copy that and paste. So I got two. Why should I keep trying to move the canvas panel? I don't want to move the canvas panel. Actually, too far over, isn't it? It is. Nice. Another one. Accidentally hit the bottom of the screen. This one won't have the percentage sign ever. Isn't a percentage of weight. Or a plus sign, actually. It'll be slightly different. Colors of these were inherited. Yep. Okay, cool. So that should work. Now, to make it look clean, I'm just going to change all these to zeros, and then I'm going to rename them. Skill name. That way when I go to test it, I can see it. And I'll be like, oh, everything's at 0, which it shouldn't be, because nothing starts at 0. Everything starts at 1. It's actually not 100% true. Alright, and then I'll go ahead and reorder these. So I'll be... Or actually, I can just call it icon... I guess slot 1? 0? Values slot 1, 0. That'll make sense when I'm going back to code it. Hopefully. Value slot. Yeah, it's 2. My brain's all over the place when I do this stuff because I'm also thinking about other things as well. Hence his life. Be there. Just talking about how my brain goes everywhere. God dang it. OCD is messing with me. There we go. Okay, got it. We're good. I have named it correctly. Icon slot 4. I could just call a wait slot if I really wanted to, because it'll always be there. Keep it consistent. Oh wait, it's supposed to be value. Value. Boom. All right. That was good. Dark. Dark. Now the question is, if I copy this, so what the? This is. Now I'm confused what I'm supposed to do with this canvas box. I don't know what... Oh, fill? Auto? Okay, so I think a vertical box was the wrong one to go about it. Maybe. Or there's something within the canvas panel that I can change. Because I want that absolute positioning. Also didn't do my overlay button yet. I need to do that before I'm done here. Frick. So I might just be making a canvas. Like a second canvas, and then I'll just position the canvas. Because I only have, I have a set number of skill slots. And then to collapse it, I guess I could just replace the widget, like hide the widget or whatever. Which isn't optimal, but it's something I can do. Anyways, I need to make one more asset, and then I'll be done with this stream. So if you're curious on when the stream ends, that's when. I need to grab my... here. So I need to make an overlay button. So the idea is, oops, wow, I'm right clicking in Photoshop just to try and move around because I'm so used to Unreal now. So the thing is, when you have it highlighted, it's going to have this little faded effect. So I'm going to build that real quick. Duplicate group, put it into its own file. Quickly crop it. All I'm gonna do is gonna make a gray image that goes over it. Technically, I could use the backing, but the edges don't want to be a separate color because on the edges, they are not colored. Instead, they have the gray to it. So all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go through and I'm gonna hide all of my text. Actually, I can just hide info. There we go. Sweet, I built this one optimally. Change all of these to the same color. Oh wait, hold on, I forgot I can't do that in Photoshop anymore. Ah! Photoshop, why did you change some of your stuff? Boom. Then I can go to the top. Effect overlay, where's color overlay? That's what I want. And then I can just do whatever I want. I have it set to hue right now because I was modding textures. Okay. And then I think, do I want to do that or do I want to do, I think I want to do that. I think. Go ahead and test it. PNG. Let's call it, I guess we can just call it a cover because it is a cover. No, I'm gonna call it button state or down state. No, upstate. It is an upstate because it's gonna highlight when you don't have it hovered, which is so backwards. It's backwards from what I was originally thinking of building it like. Go in here. I forgot to put it into my project. That's kind of important. Copy it over. It'll bring it in a second. There it goes. And then I need a button. This button. Yeah, I'm gonna have to convert this just to a single canvas panel probably. And then just make all my buttons and then place the canvas panel in there. Which isn't optimal. I think there's a better way to do this, but that's how I'm gonna do it for now. I won't do that during the stream. I'm almost done. All right, so normal, I want to have my cover, my upstate. I'll be adding a transparency to it if I can, hopefully. Can I add transparency? I also need to change it to nearest neighbor scaling. Color and opacity. No, that's the color of the thing. Maybe a button isn't what I want to use for it. Oh, there's a background color. Okay, so that's what I want. All right, let's just check what color I actually used for my real mock-up because I kind of like the way that looked. Oops, that's the wrong one. Oh, god damn it, I'm right-clicking again. Bring everything up. My life is so complicated. Alright, what color did I use for this? Oh, I just used my normal color, then faded it to 60%. Okay. That's fine. Yeah, so I just want to go into my other thing. Change this. 5-1. Alright. I didn't think I did it that way, but I did. So that's a thing that I did. Yep, replace smallest file. It up, put it into my folder. it'll automatically be like, hey, this thing updated. So it'll make it look different. I was at 60%. Booyah. Now I just need to make it the right size. And it should be done. Ish. I need to change it to nearest neighbor real quick. You'll notice it has a little bit of a kind of weird thing going on over there. Go into my textures, find the upstate. You can see it's blurring the edges quite a bit. We don't want that. So we're gonna go ahead and change it to an interface item for its compression setting, which means it will be compressed quite well. And then we're gonna change it to nearest neighbor. And then it will instead pixelate, which I like a lot better. I like it when when textures pixelate more so than everything else. And now it should look like it was just part of the image. And so then when you hover over it, this will disappear. Hopefully, preferably. Not on my button. There we go. It's normal. And then hovered state is what we want to change. So we want to as none. As none. And then when it hovers over it, it should be fine. Actually, we can test that real quick. I do need to add in the actual logic though. So on hover. Oh no, I don't need to do that. It should automatically do it, shouldn't it? Visually, I don't think you have to do an on hover effect for the on hover effect to actually work. I don't know, let's see if it works. I need to get rid of my sample. I don't need any more. File. Let's see what happens if I just throw it onto my camera. It's in my controller, right? Yeah. So, great. UI. Or, wait, did I call it UI? Type in widget. I don't remember. Yeah, it's create widget, right? Yeah, okay. And Hunter skills. Doesn't have an owning player because I'm not doing that. Add to viewport. Sorry, I'm still not the best at this. Don't turn. There you go. Boom. File. Let's try it. Shift F1. Sweet. It works. I would like to add a fade effect to that, but that is something I would probably have to use an image for. It does have some dithering here and there. That's why I need the blur effect, which looks nice on one side. Doesn't work on the other side yet. Well, that's how much I got done with the UI. Now I just need to make it so that this shows up here and stacks properly. Make the rest of the freaking UI. But I'm actually not going to be working on the UI for the next few days. I'm going to be trying to get some 3D modeling done. And then try and get some stuff imported and actually get gameplay going, because once I have the skill slot menu stuff going, then I can start literally throwing things together and actually make a playable alpha going along, because all this other info and stuff like that, all these other mechanics don't need to be in the game for it to function. So I need to build the tavern mechanic, the gameplay mechanic, and the exploration portion of the game, and then get the models and stuff like that at least at a passable state. They don't have to be perfect. I'll probably only make like 3 or 4 animation stuffs. Then I'll have a playable alpha, which is where we're gonna go. Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and end my stream here. This is what I'm gonna work on for now. I'm gonna go ahead and do some other stuff. I have a video thing that I'm gonna work on today. And so, yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Most people are probably gonna see the archive, and if you have any sort of feedback, make sure to give it to me straight up. Just tell me what you guys think and everything. And of course, if you want to check out my YouTube stuff, make sure to check me out on youtube.com/c/Michael P. Stanich. It's on the screen at the moment, down here, I believe. Yeah, there it is. And then you can also check me out on Twitter if you want some game updates type of stuff. You can also end up joining up on our gaming Discord called The Broken Chat Box. And so, yeah. We also run a podcast every Monday now, hopefully. We might be there Monday, but yeah. I'm going to go ahead and end the stream. See you guys later.